Hey guys. Um, so today I want to talk about fear foods. And um when with the eating disorder, I had an array of list of fear foods that I kept on a list in the beginning of my recovery. And those foods scared me to death because they were foods that I wouldn't go near, or I would binge and purge on. I just couldn't eat the food and enjoy it, or just eat it normally. It was either an overcoming sensation when these foods would be present that I would it was an overwhelming feeling of you have to binge, or you must stay away. It was just like these bad foods that I put on my list, and I just and when they were presented in front of me, with family gatherings and stuff, it's just an overwhelming desire and just to either binge or stay away from the food. It's just like it's always centered on that food, that one food right there at the table, and all I can think about, is hopefully people won't ask me if I'll try it, or the list goes on, and I don't know. It's just like being scared of food. You know, I mean, one thing I've been saying for a long time is, food isn't the enemy, the eating disorder is. And so many times when we're in the eating disorder, we like to turn our hate and anger towards food or ourselves, and we don't turn enough hate towards the eating disorder. We kind of let the eating disorder take us over with the fear of food, and we don't realize that the lies in our head are lies. We have this thought that what we hear in our heads is the truth, and we feel like we must follow these rules, and but you know I for so long stayed away from these foods, um, that I just couldn't overcome. I couldn't eat them normally, or I wouldn't have eat them at all. And um, I don't know. It's just the thing that broke me through is to finally, say what I said. It's the food isn't the enemy, the eating disorder is, and to challenge yourself, um, because that's a lot about what recovery is about, is challenging yourself to overcome what you think that you can't overcome, to just really allow yourself to try. You know, holding that food up to a standard and saying no, okay, no, I'm not gonna ever eat you, is just like limiting yourself and limiting the possibilities of what you can do in recovery. I mean, if your fear food is chocolate or something like that, and you say, you have this idea that chocolate's just full of fat, and it's not good for you. It's just full of sugar, full of fat, calories, etc., etc. And you just hold it up to that standard, and you just look at all the negatives. It's like, I mean, you look at every food in a negative light. Chocolate is, it might not be the best for you, but um, you should be able to enjoy every type of food. You shouldn't have put limits on yourself. You shouldn't restrict yourself from enjoying, food in moderation, any kind of food in moderation. That's the key for my life, is trying to balance everything out. Because I would go all the time from one extreme to the other with eating disorder behaviors, from restricting severely to the next day following binges and purges like crazy, with every food in sight. And it's just finding a balance between those two and allowing yourself to, have chocolate, have a hamburger, and I've talked about how, I eat a lot of organic, but, you know, you can't obsess about that either. During family gatherings, they don't serve organic food, and I'm not going to worry about it. It's moderation. I mean, I could, turning over to organic, I started getting obsessed with it. It's like everything had to be health food, everything had to be organic. It was just like I was starting to get in this mantra where it's like I can't eat that because that has pesticides and hormones in it. Because my eating disorder was shifting over to an obsession with, everything being organic and healthy and fat free and pesticide free, and I thought I was finding a balance with that. I thought that was a balance, but that's not a balance at all. And yes, I do need to eat more organic now for my health and my hormones and infertility problems, but you still need to find a balance. You can't. Your friends want to go out to eat with you, and you don't go because there's your fear food there, and it's just like you're allowing you're allowing your eating disorder to get in the way of establishing relationships with people, and it's crazy. Well, you're not crazy, because you're not alone in this, but it's just mind-boggling how this eating disorder can control you so much, and you not even realize it. But you don't. You just need to challenge yourself and just try to do that. You know, tell yourself that that food, isn't going to make you 10 pounds heavier than what you are now. If it's in moderation, it's not the end of the world. It's food, and it's there for to enjoy it and take it slow if you need to. Eat it slowly and just enjoy the moment and try to think positive about those fear foods. Don't let them to allow you to be blinded by the eating disorder, because the eating disorder will try to shift your attention to the food or to the scale, or you need to pay attention to that eating disorder and get to the root of the problems. You need to fight against the eating disorder, not fight against the food or the scale and all that stuff. So, anyways, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about fear foods, because, fear food is not the enemy. The eating disorder is. So, yeah. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.